What can you buy for £2 sterling? Not a lot, I hear you say. Maybe a pepperami, maybe a pot noodle and a can, but it's not going to be a good can, certainly no Coca-Cola. It's going to be a ca, which is basically bubbly sugar water. What about games? Any good games for under £2? No. You have free-to-play games, which usually come with the caveat of having to pay for loads of in-app purchases to actually be able to enjoy them, which sort of defeats the object. In fact, you end up paying a hell of a lot more than you ever should have to enjoy the free games, so they don't count. You also then have abandonware, which is very old games that you can download off the internet. Those are great. These are great old games that are just free now because they're so old. But they're old. We don't want to play old stuff. Bleh. And then you get just free games.
But that's naughty.
But good cheap games do exist. Or one exists. Vampire Survivors is a £2 game that's actually good. It starts you off with a picture of Vlad Dracula and a poppin' porg. What more do you need? I actually picked this up for $1.89 because it was on sale. It's an action arcade RPG, which apparently is a genre, but that's exactly what I would call it as well. You get straight into the action. Boom, select your character. Do you want Antonio with the whip? Do you want Imelda with the staff? Or do you want more Tachio than Mr. Spooky Bones with his big fat bone that he's ready to bash some enemies with? Pick your level and you're away. And that's it. You're in. You're in. 2 seconds, you're in the game and you're playing. And this is a 0-button game. Now, there is one button for confirming at menus, but that doesn't really count. Essentially, the gameplay is all stick. So that's it. You move your stick around and then your character automatically batty whips. Not that sort of batty whip. This sort of batty whip. You walk and you whip. Simplicity. Which is key to a good arcade game, but it doesn't stay simple for long. You'll notice you start hoovering up those gems like a bougie Dyson, and then soon you'll level. Which allows you to select from one of 3 options. Now, at the start of the game, that will typically be a new upgrade or a new weapon. As you can see here, you get Santa water, a cross, or a knife. Picking one of these will add it to your arsenal of weapons, and I believe that you get 12 potential upgrades or weapons. Now you can see I've got a cross as well. Not only am I whipping, I'm also crossing. So this keeps going, and you keep picking up more gems, and you keep leveling up, and you'll eventually have a nice arsenal of different weapons. I mean, look here, I've got Santa water going off. Which, can I just ask, what the fuck is Santa water? Is it Santa's wee-wee? And then before long, you'll be an absolute obelisk, just sending out different projectiles left, right, and centre, which is where the game really starts to get fun. As you level up, the game ramps up. More enemies get thrown at you. You have to do your best to dodge them. At this point, it's sort of a bullet hell. But you're kind of becoming the hell. We're talking skellins. We're talking spooky ghosts. And then you see these elite enemies with the blue outline. In this case, it's a bat. And once you've slain it, it drops a red gem, which gives you a little bit more experience than normal. However, later on in the game, these elite enemies will drop treasure chests. So the enemies do change slowly as time goes on, and once you hit certain level thresholds, you'll notice that heavier waves of enemies come along. But then as well as the elites, you'll occasionally just get these random events where something crazy happens, like in this case, you just get a deathly circle of killer plants and then a praying mantis. I don't know what he's doing, he's just coming along like... Oh, and some spookies! Some more spookies! When you do level, it's not just weapons you can pick up. You can also pick up gear, stuff like the bracers, which increase your projectile speed, or the clover, which increases your luck, which then allows you to have more options each level. Oh, you think that's a lot of content, eh? Are you surprised that a £2 game's got so much going on? Let's scooch on to another level with a different character. We are now playing as Mortaccio in the library with the Mudmen. And we're going to pick a fire wand this time round, which is a totally different experience because the fire wand shoots fiery balls towards the muddy men, which is how I like to spend my Fridays. Oh, and also each character has its own special weapon, like this guy's got a bone, which bounces around, and you can upgrade that too. There's also other consumable items, such as a big magnet that sucks things in, and another one that destroys everything on the screen. Then you've got money bags and coins, which help you to purchase new upgrades and characters. There's also chicking! Before we go further, let's talk about treasure chests. Now when I kill this mudman, I get a nice little treasure. Orgasm of loot. It's firing upwards with absolute virility. 72 coins and a ring that gives me an extra projectile. That's on every single item. Fireball, cross, bone, wand. All of those weapons now fire an extra bit out of them. Okay, this is where it starts to get stupid. Because you start doubling your projectiles, and some of the characters have that as a trait. You're leveling up, you're getting more gems, the screen's getting crazier, you've now got 6 different weapons, all of them are firing off 18 different projectiles. You feel like 8 miniguns sellotaped together around you while you spin around on a wheelie chair. And that's not the end. At some point amongst all the chaos, you will have leveled a couple of pieces of gear up to maximum, and certain pieces of gear, when leveled together, create the potential for you to find an upgraded weapon. So yes, you can get even stronger. You become death, destroyer of worlds. At a certain point, you just stand still and kill everything. Like it or not, gents, this is the ideal male body. This is what peak performance looks like. Once you've hit maximum upgrade and there's only coins and health left to collect, it does very much become a game of just survival. And the AI will just throw tsunamis of horrible new terrors towards you in an attempt to bring you down. And at this point, you need to stand stalwart towards the last minute of the game. This is where your gear and your selections really come down to the test. You can't just stand still. You've got to hope you're killing all of those horrible beasts being thrown at you. And if you haven't picked the right upgrades, you're done. But if, like me, you're an absolute gaming master, hopefully you'll be able to root in, dig deep, and see it through to completion. At which point, where do we go from there? Is it possible to continue? Let's find out. No, it's not possible to continue because the Grim Reaper comes along and he just fucking cheats and kills you. I lasted 3 seconds past 30 minutes though, so I win by 3 seconds. Dickhead! To finish off this review, let's take it live to the recording of me straight after I completed that horrible run. 30 minutes of pure destruction, of pure anxiety, panic, dread, and ball-curdling horror. But I've made it and completed the inlaid library normal mode. Can I just point out that's normal mode? So I got myself 3,000 gold, we've defeated 42,000 enemies, and we unlocked a new character called Crotchy. To top it all off, these guys regularly patch and update the game. There's a patch recently. There's another patch a few weeks before. They're constantly updating this game for free. We've had loads of them, and if you look at the roadmap, we can see that they've actually got 24 characters planned, 10 stages planned, 48 weapons, 20 power-ups, 5 relics. Who even knows what the relics are? And then arcanas? This is all things they're going to add to the game. This is £2 for a game that you could, even at the state it's in now, could easily sink tens of hours. If you really like it, hundreds of hours. It's got that arcade joy that you just used to get from games like this, but it's taken it to just a new fucking level. I've not played a game as addictive and as good value for money as Vampire Survivors in a very long time. Vampire Survivors gets 9 out of 10. 9 Jameses out of 10 by Gameses. And that's it for this episode of Games by James. I'll be doing a special competition where I give away 1 copy of Vampire Survivors. All you've got to do is watch my channel until I get to 1 million subscribers and then email me saying, Jamesy, million done. And I'll send you your copy as long as you're the only person that's done it, otherwise, size. Bye!